morning. This is Anja from Sparrea, and today I would like to talk to you about Bach flower remedies. So I'm going to read you a short excerpt just to put you a little bit into the spirit of what it is, and then we'll discuss a few things in detail. So the Bach flower remedies are a simple and natural method of healing or establishing equilibrium and harmony through the personality using the essences of wildflowers. The pharmacopoeia for this method of treatment is made up of 38 flower remedies. Bach therapy was discovered and developed in England by Edward Bach, a scientist, bacteriologist, and physician who made his discoveries in the 1920s and 1930s. He made his remedies from wild plants, bushes, or trees, and they were directed at relieving mental states. They were not prescribed for physical complaints, but were used according to the patient's state of mind. The theory was based upon the understanding that an inharmonious state of mind accompanies all diseases, and a negative mental condition may in fact be the primary cause for the sickness. Left untreated, the mental state will continue to hinder the recovery. The Bach flower remedies are still decidedly holistic in their application. They treat the patient and not the disease. The remedies are simple, safe, and inexpensive, readily available without written prescription. None are harmful or habit-forming. They bear no antagonism to any other form of medical treatment and can be safely used by anyone. It was Edward Bach's intention that any person could bring about self-healing by means of these flower essences. A few drops in water or under the tongue, taken from a prepared bottle, is all that is necessary. So this is my introduction. And I just would like to introduce myself a little bit. I'm a naturopath. I was trained in France 27 years ago. I've used these Bach flower remedies for this amount of time. My mother's a psychologist, and she also uses them in accompaniment for her patients. And I will just tell you about a few flowers that came to mind when we started this difficult period in our lives. Just to speak a little bit about what may be the emotions that might hinder our emotional healing, but maybe also some physical ailments that might pop up. So I have a couple of flowers here that I think might suit a few people around, because fear is right now at the forefront of most people's emotions. Those who are not afraid might either mask their emotions because they intellectualize, or they have enough data to understand what's really going on. On the physical level, people might develop some symptoms and so on and so forth. So I will use those different pictures I will show you and explain a little further. So here we have one flower called agrimony. Agrimony is given in the event that you tend to mask your torments or your sadness by a constant smile. You tend to to be an optimist probably, but to not necessarily want to dig deeper and allow yourself to have the feelings that you're experiencing. So agrimony is given for the, let's say, the optimist who needs just to dig a little bit deeper on a level to allow the emotions to come through. Here we have aspen. Aspen is given when the person is experiencing unknown fears. Unknown fears in a sense of, for children it might be nightmares, for people who are not always in touch with their emotions and don't necessarily want to go there, it might be a feeling, an uneasy feeling of something is upon us and we don't know what it is. Which I think speaks to us a little bit in these times of uncertainty and not knowing what will be. So aspen helps the person basically become more courageous and to have a trust, a deep down trust that things will be all right. The famous rainbow. Crabapple I have chosen because it is helping people with poor self-image, I would say, gain more trust in their physical bodies and also love themselves more. It's also given for purification. So when you have a feeling of being dirty, like you wash your hands a lot, what we're doing probably all day these days, if you have a feeling of, if you come in close contact with somebody, you might catch what it is that they have. So these feelings might be more personal than necessarily, and I'm not saying it is wrong, than necessarily truth-based. It is a feeling of not being clean. It's a feeling of having caught something, yeah, and this need to wash your hands. So Crabapple gives you a feeling of everything's okay, I still will wash my hands and I will take care of myself, but there is a deep down feeling of trust. And the next flower I will let you discover is called Cherry Plum. Cherry Plum, as you can see, a beautiful white tree flower. Cherry plum is given to people who have an underlying feeling of the volcanoes about to erupt, a suppressed feeling of I might erupt if something happens now, if something triggers me too much. I think we're a little bit sitting on hot coals right now. This might be that type of feeling, and it gives you emotional, constructive outlets. It will help you not overreact to things. Gentian is given to people who tend to be pessimists. They have a feeling that things are just not gonna go right. It might be a feeling of the glass is half full. The glass is half empty rather than half full. People like that, they might be the naysayers. When you try to see things in a better light, they will be the ones who will always find a little thing that makes you doubt again, which is not wrong. It's always good to go for more research and more understanding, but we need to be positive these days. So this helps to stay optimistic and positive. Impatience is a little flower. I don't know if you've ever seen these little flowers. We have them here in the alleys in NDG. They have a little bud that when you touch it, it poof, explodes, and the seeds are being sprayed around. So impatience is given to people who are impatient and have also a physical need to get things done quickly, and they're impatient with people who work slower than they do.